were amazing in this.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. What was it about Chris when you saw this script and you're like, oh man, I gotta tackle this guy?
You know, I think it was about the truthfulness of him. You know, I think especially for actors my age, it's really hard to find a role that's so just accurate and so truthful and not kind of a stereotype, but really just, you know, a human. And I think for Chris, he's just this kid kind of, you know, wondering and trying to find who he is, and he doesn't know who he is. And I think that there's something really unique about that.
And then you get to work opposite some pretty amazing actors, my friend. My goodness. And just tell me a little bit about working with someone like Jake Gyllenhaal, who I would think you would have learned a lot from.
I learned so much. I really did. You know, he's such a master, and he's so talented. And I found, like, even being in a scene with him, you know, he brings such truth to character, and he's so real. And so it makes you real, and it makes you truthful. And at the end of the day, you're just kind of these two characters having a dialogue.
And is it true that one of the very first days that you started to shoot, it was the demolition scene?
That was my first day.
Tell me about that.
I walked onto set and was handed a sledgehammer. That was my opening to the demolition set. But, you know, everything's real.
Yeah.
I mean, there isn't a fake appliance, fake window, fake anything in that scene. And it was really just me and Jake tearing apart this house. I mean, it was, and you never think like somebody's actually gonna hand you a crowbar and say, all right, now chuck it at that flat screen TV. But it happened. And I mean, and I think for our characters, you know, we both have this angst and kind of this inner turmoil, and so I think it was really relieving. And it's kind of them kind of getting all this, you know, this built up stuff out.
Yeah, and you know, also working with Naomi Watts as your mom, you know she has a great track record with young kids that she works with. I mean, look at Tom Holland, for goodness sake, right? You know?
Yes,
so tell me
Tom's
about,
great.
Yeah, so exactly. So, you know, even working with someone like that, she's, you know, I know there's some tensions between the mother and son, obviously, but to have her on set as your mom, could it get any better?
It couldn't get any better. You know, it was funny because it was the kind of thing, we'd be chatting and like, yeah, this is great. And they would be like, all right, action. It's like, I hate you. You know, there was definitely that dynamic where, you know, it was all of our, you know, tension, everything was definitely just our characters.
I mean, you're a young kid, and thank God, hopefully you don't have to worry about too much grief at this point in your life. But how on earth do you, as an actor, even learn how to deal with what's going on in this film?
Yeah, you know, that's a tough one. I think it's just about bringing truth to the character, and I think that it's very unconventional, the way everybody treats grief and life in this film. And I think it, you know, it doesn't follow the formulaic story that a lot of films do. And so I think it's about just being your character and kind of seeing the world as your character, and just taking everything in and really just representing that from a truthful point.
Yeah. This movie, we were lucky in Toronto to have this as our opening film at the Toronto International Film Festival. Now, I understand that was your first big red carpet experience. Tell me a little bit about what this world is like for you.
That was surreal. You know, it's crazy. It's funny to me, this side of it, because this side of it, it's so huge and it's so glamorous, and I feel like this is the side that the outside world sees, and the outside world doesn't see, you know, the like shooting all hours of the day and night, and like, you know, you're being on 4 hours of sleep for a month and a half, and like this really gritty side of it when you're filming. And it's interesting though, because it's so funny to see this flip side, which is, you know, very huge and big and glamorous, and yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, well, good. Enjoy it. For sure, you deserve it. That's for sure. Working with a director like Jean-Marc Vallée, too, he lets you kind of do your own thing, you know, and it's not storyboarded and scripted out in terms of that. How freeing, how amazing is that for you as an actor?
It was incredible as an actor to work with a director who's so open. And, you know, I can say we did a lot of improv and a lot of kind of spur-of-the-moment things, and that's what's so amazing is you can find these really special moments because they just happen. And you're in character, and me and Jake are both just, you know, living for the moment as our characters, and something really magical happens, and Jean-Marc was so into that and so open to that, and I feel like there's a lot of really special moments that wouldn't have been able to come to fruition without Jean-Marc.
Well, you did a terrific job in this, I have to tell you, and I know that we'll be speaking to you for many more years to come.
Thank you.
Come back and visit us in Toronto anytime. You're always welcome.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Judith. You're great.
It's nice
Thank you.
meeting you.